Jesmo spremni? Jesam ja dobio drugu.
That is what Matchroom does for the players. So it's not just 40,000. For us, we feel like it's just at the beginning of a journey. Arena route, and the hotel has been brilliant. The players have loved it here. They're saying, the food's great. They love it. I mean, Frazer, he's the GOAT of the sport, and to have him there for those 4 days, it was just phenomenal.
Hello everyone, we're back with another Poolcast interview. We have with us Emily Frazer, the CEO of Matchroom Multisport.
Yeah.
And we're so grateful for you taking the time to talk to us, and we won't take much of your time. We just would like to get to know you and have some questions. When Matchroom first came into the scene, we finally saw progress and structure in the world rankings.
I think obviously years ago we were only doing 3 pool events a year, and the likes of hometown favourite Sanjin, he only had like the Mosconi Cup to aspire to participate in. That was always from wild cards, who knows who. However, in the last 2 years with us creating the World 9-Ball Tour and the world rankings, it's given players like Sanjin Pelevanovic an opportunity, but also motivation that they can actually qualify for these major invitational events and get to a global stage. And it's not a 1 in a million opportunity. It's actually within grasping chance and that opportunity. So the whole point of us taking events like a European Open Pool Championship or all of our other open events in the World 9-Ball Tour, it gives players this new opportunity to get ranking points, to get onto the tour, and to earn their way into these events where, if you make the Mosconi Cups, $20,000 guaranteed. And if you make that early on in your year, it gives you confidence, it gives you motivation, but it's also additional exposure. Now, the European Open that's here this week, it's $40,000 for the winner. Some may say that's quite small. I would, if you hand me 40 grand, I'm absolutely loving life. But in the grand scheme of main sports and global sports, 40,000 for winning a European Open is quite small. If you look at the likes of darts and snooker, the prize money is huge. But that has taken years of building. And whilst the Mosconi has been going for over 30 years, the actual tour has only been building for 2 to 3 years now. Yeah. So just think of how quickly we have grown in the space of 2 years and where we can be in the next 3 years. Now that's something really quite exciting, because yes, it might only be 40,000 for the winner. It's actually all of the exposure that is around it.
Yeah, that's what I meant with when I said we finally see structure and players having something to show the sponsors, and for the sponsors to see what are the possibilities for players and how much exposure they can receive through those players.
Exactly, yeah. Like players can now negotiate their own sponsorship because they know that when they come to a Matchroom event, the TV table, the cameras, the production that we bring, as well as the social media, that brings so much for them. Ever since we really came on board and stepped it up a notch in the last couple of years, all of the players now have a blue tick. All of the players' social media following is growing. That is what Matchroom does for the players. So it's not just 40,000, it's everything that comes with it. When you win a title for a Matchroom pool event, everyone knows who you are, and that is what we bring. So that's what's been so exciting about bringing an event like the European Open here to Bosnia. You see the grassroots, the developing the grassroots locally. The main event, we had over 40 players from Bosnia sign up. In the junior event, we had over 10 juniors sign up out of 32. There's a demand here for 9-ball pool, and yes, billiards isn't the leading sport. The handball's like huge over here, However, I see that as a challenge.
Yeah, sure.
Let's set billiards and let's set 9-ball up to be a leading sport here in the region. So then when we're here in years to come, people are coming and it's selling out the arena for the final because everyone has seen 9-ball and they're following the sport throughout the year and they're excited to, cheer on Sanjin, but also more players from Bosnia coming to our other events because they can see that they've got a future in becoming a professional pool player, but earning a lot of money.
Yeah, for us who know about pool and who've been following it for years, 40,000 is a big step up for something that's not the world champions, for example, and those kinds of prize money can really make a difference, especially for people in this region. So not even winning it, just being in the quarterfinals is something that, given our average salary, it's like it's a yearly wage. So it's grown much faster than we expected. Yeah. Who've been following it for years. We've been in this game for the last 17 years, and we really follow. So,
well, you think what happened to someone like Fedor Gorst last year? He won the World Pool Championship. That was $250,000, and this has taken years to build, obviously. However, not even the 250,000. Everything that came with it. Everyone was talking about Fedor, and then he went on to win so much more because he was confident and he can worry less now. He doesn't have to worry so much about expenses because he's now earned a certain amount where he can just go out there and play pool.
Yeah, play pool.
Whereas some of these players, it's so tough for them because they have to think about, I've got these expenses here, I want to go and play pool. The players say it to me, Emily, I want to be at all of the events, but the expenses, it's hard to try and go and earn that money. However, it's my job to get them to a certain level where they don't have to worry about expenses because their sponsor is paying for all of their expenses. Yeah. But, the World Championship is obviously the crown jewel. However, years ago, before my time, the Mosconi Cup players were playing in that for free. Yep. Because it was just about trying to get that event over the line. However, now the bonus for getting onto the Mosconi Cup is 20,000. Then you get an extra 20,000 if you win the event. But I bet the exposure that the players receive is triple that amount. When you look at it. But for us, we feel like it's just at the beginning of a journey. Whilst a lot of people will be looking in and saying the World 9-Ball Tour is, huge and it's brilliant for the sport, when I look at it, I think that we're only just starting. And I think that we're at such a tiny level purely because we look at it from a bigger sporting perspective. So we take a step back and say, well, how big are we really in the grand scheme of things? How big are we in comparison to snooker, to darts, to the UFC? So we need to be growing to those levels. And so we sometimes make decisions that some within the industry don't really understand because we're trying to make it a bigger picture and we're trying to grow it mainstream. That's why we announced the Florida Open. We want to dominate in America. But also coming here to Bosnia has been such an important part of that because everyone here is so well connected with this event. Obviously we've got great support with the Ministry of Culture and Sport. Minister Keenan has been here a couple of times this week and is just amazed by it. Yeah. He's looking around saying, this is a fantastic production, this is brilliant. Now, that is fantastic for us to be partnered with, someone like the Ministry of Culture and Sport that supports the event. Yeah. Because then we can say, fabulous, we've got something here and we can build on that. And I'd love to sell this arena out, and the hotel has been brilliant. The players have loved it here. They're saying, the food's great. They love that they can go to the spa, the hotel's on site, and they can walk to the venue here. Everyone seems really happy, and I feel really proud and happy that we chose to come to Sarajevo for the European Open.
Yeah, we are also very glad. It's basically the reason why we came back and we started this. We started back up. We did something 2 years ago, and we saw this. When we found out about this, we then made a decision that we're gonna start our YouTube channel again. And the main reason was to bring this closer to the people from this region. There's still a language barrier for most of them. And besides watching it on TV, no one even has an idea what this looks like. And we hope to show people. Not many of them came as much as we hoped they would, just simply because they didn't realize how amazing this is.
Yeah.
And we really hope to bring it closer. Talking about TV live coverage, do you see that as the most important and crucial part of expanding to wider audiences, or social networks just as important?
Maybe if you'd asked me a couple of years ago, I probably would have said TV, but nowadays it's all about social media.
Isn't it?
You know, you just look at, so I'll give you an example. A couple of days ago, we had Don Kwok Kwan. He was, you know, in his matches on the outside tables. He was playing one of his games, and I can't remember the specific game off the top of my head. We had over 100,000 viewers on TikTok.
Really?
And when I'm telling you, it is just a mobile phone, there on a tripod, no commentary, and maybe sometimes me just going over and talking every so often, but that is not commentary. Over 100,000 viewers. Oh. That's social media.
Yeah.
However, TV coverage is integral because it does get your mainstream audience in. And one thing that I've noticed with the 9-ball pool is we obviously love it. You know, the Matchroom team, we're not 9-ball players. We don't play pool. We're all sports enthusiasts. We can appreciate a good sporting game, right? However, you know, this industry is a very small industry and everyone loves 9-ball and everyone's a pool player. That's why we're the best people for it, because we're sports fans. And what we have noticed is that anyone who we can get these events to, we capture them, we draw them in, because 9-ball's exciting, it's dynamic, you can't guess what's going to happen because of the 9-ball, but also we have so many different characters that are incredible for this sport, and we have so many different nationalities. You know, we had 4 different nationalities for our semi-finals today. Yeah. We had 13 different nationalities for the last 16. I think we've got over 50 different nationalities in our top 128 players in the world. We are truly a global sport. That is why we're going to Bosnia, we go to Florida, we go to Vietnam, we go to the Philippines, we go everywhere in the world because we're truly a global sport. So what we're doing and what the television coverage is doing is we are going to those viewers, and you know, it's great having YouTube channels and things like that and the smaller audience within 9-ball, but there's a bigger audience that we need to, you know, captivate. And our productions and our teams, that's what we're good at. And we're good at going to a very casual sports fan and saying, this is 9-ball. This is Sanjin Pelivanovic from Bosnia and Herzegovina. This is what we can do. We bring you in. And everyone comes away from 9-ball and they go, oh, I love the World Tour. I want to come to the Mosconi. I tuned into this, I tuned into that. And these are all general sports fans that come on board finally. It's not this small group of people. Yep. What we do is we draw people in because it is exciting. So TV is an integral part of that because we reach people that not a lot of niche sports can. And we are a niche sport. I'm not going to kid myself. We're a niche sport. However, it's our job to turn it into a global sport. No one ever would have thought that darts would be as big as what it is now. Yeah. It's huge. It was a pub game, and it wasn't like, you know...
It wasn't a sport.
No.
Just as billiards is now becoming... We always thought billiards was a sport, but people couldn't relate to it because they always played in a pub. So that's he always connected it to drinking and smoking and just hanging out.
Yeah.
No one ever thought you can do it professionally. Well, at least not at all a lot of people. And talking about bringing wider audiences, I've been playing this a long time. My father never watched anything. Not that I ever wanted him to watch me. I was never a good player, but since it's on TV, he's been watching it every time.
What, this week?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Not just this week, for the past 2 years.
Good.
Because he can finally understand it. We have a commentator, Georgie, who's very capable of bringing it and explaining what someone did good, what someone did bad, and for audience that needs to be brought in, that's really important, so they can appreciate how good something was and how good someone is playing. So it is very important. And you mentioned doing a live TikTok is just this, and we can see it obviously takes an army to do this, but how big is this army right here?
Listen, I'll be totally real with you. There's a core team, and it's a very small team. Everyone basically works endless hours of the day, and it is a very core team that will go. They're the main team that is needed to make one of these events happen. Then you go outside of that, and you need your army, and it's a case of, like, for example, we come here to Bosnia and we have our head referee, Marcel Etgard. He's the best in the business. He's fantastic, and I trust him out there. That's your arena.
Yep.
But he has referees locally here. And that's all part of why we come to new territories, because you develop the sport. So you're not only just welcoming in players locally, but you're also using referees locally, you're using production locally. And we find new people that we can bring into our production, that we can bring as part of our whole team. So we do it. Listen, I'm probably undercooking it. It takes a lot of people to put one of these on. I think a lot of people think that this is quite, simple to put together or something like that. It doesn't. It takes a lot of people, and it takes a lot of investment. But that's something that, when we launched the World 9-Ball Tour a couple of years ago, as a company, we made a decision to fully invest into 9-Ball. We've been sitting on the fence for a couple of years because there's not a load of money in it. It costs a lot to stage these events. But we were kind of sitting there saying, what do we do here? And in terms of poker, we went all in with 9-Ball. And we decided full steam ahead, let's invest into the sport. And that's what we're doing. And each year we announce a new event. We go to a territory where we know that we've got a great partnership and that can develop, grassroots locally. So for us, we just got to keep on our path, keep sort of grinding forward. And without the team that we have here on site, we wouldn't be able to do that. But everyone that works on these events are all passionate about seeing the growth of the tour, and that expands to the players. The players feel that. They feel that passion from the team that are working on the event. That's why all the players want to play in the matchroom events. Yeah. You can never beat, it doesn't matter if you put the prize money up 4 times of one of our events. No one will ever compete with one of our events, regardless. You will never compete because you're not us. You're not matchroom.
Yep.
We are the best in the business at promoting sports around the world. It's because of the team that we have. So you can never replicate a Mosconi. You can never replicate a European Open because it's matchroom who are the core.
Yeah, no one, as much as we all thought it should happen, the Reyes Cup was something that we couldn't believe hasn't happened before. So we as fans are most grateful for that event, because we always thought Asia needed to show to the world how good they are.
It just makes it. There's something more for them to travel the world for. So many of the players, like the Coe brothers, Johan Chua, Carlo Biardo, they travel over 27 hours to come to a European Open event. because they know that they have this Reyes Cup event to look forward to motivate them. We've now seen, like with the launch of the Hanoi Open, we've seen rising stars like AJ Manis, who won a junior event. We've seen Duong Quoc Quan come through from a Hanoi Open event, and we've identified those, and that sparked the Reyes Cup. I mean, Efren Reyes, he's the GOAT of the sport, and to have him there for those 4 days, it was just phenomenal. And for a first year event, look, I was never there for year one of the Mosconi Cup. However, what, Barry did with the beginning of the Mosconi Cup, he grinded that. But, he told me for years, they were flogging tickets outside. Come to the Mosconi, the tickets are free, trying to just get 100 people to sit in there. Year one of the Reyes Cup, we had over 1,500 fans in there.
Yeah.
Like, we've created something with the World Tour. And the Mosconi Cup last year, we had over 10,000 fans coming through for 4 days.
Yeah, that's
something has happened.
There is a number, yeah.
And it's 9 ball is on the rise. We just got to keep grinding. We got to keep pushing forward. We kind of have our, when horses are racing and they got their blinkers on, we've got those on because we know what we need to do to push this sport forward.
You have your goal set.
Of course, and we know we're the right people to do it. We can't stay off track. We just got to keep on track and keep pushing.
Do you think there are some untapped markets like Africa, South America, Australia?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that
they're in the future of development.
I personally think that every nationality that we have on tour, we should be going over into every territory. The thing is about 9 ball and Q Sports is that it's so accessible. Anyone can play. The junior events, we've seen both girls and boys participating. All ages come and participate in our events. We can have someone as young as 16. You can have someone as old as 75. We had Barry Hearn obviously playing our US Open event last year. Anyone can play, but everyone has fun. Everyone enjoys themselves. Win or lose, players come off the table and they're happy. It might take 30 seconds to get the loss out of their head, but everyone enjoys it. There are so many, untapped markets that we need to be exploring. But also, we're trying to build a tour. We've got to take each step as it comes. We don't make any brash decisions. Everyone was waiting for a Reyes Cup. We hit the button with the Reyes Cup. Bosnia was an untapped market. We're here now for the European Open. We don't know what the future will bring, but I know it will be a positive one here in Sarajevo.
We also think so. Is there maybe a possibility or plan for a juniors ranking?
Oh, yes, of course.
It is, yeah.
There needs to be a development tour.
Yeah.
Because how else are you going to get on tour?
Yeah.
And I was completely blown away with the juniors that have been here this week. Sometimes, for me personally, it's very difficult to try and watch how the juniors are getting on because we have the main event on at the same time. However, the night before they all started, I spent a lot of time with pretty much all of the juniors. We ran like a mini competition.
Yeah, we were filming.
Were you filming?
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, if I could have given them all a winning prize money and like given them the balls, cues, everything, I would have done it. They are just fearless, and the amount of talent that was in that room from the main event and from the juniors, it's just absolutely different class. And for these players to, at such a young age, to be experiencing the high and low emotions of playing in a professional tournament and a competition sets them up for the main tour. So, like, you can think someone like Sanjin, who's obviously, grown up playing pool, imagine how much more experienced he would be now playing in the main events if he had had a Matchroom Junior development tour. So what our goal is to work with the juniors, have these junior open events, create a ranking system for them, so then when they get old enough they can join on the main tour, but also we give them the opportunity in that arena. They do their interviews, they start to get, less nervous in front of the cameras, and we're kind of educating them so then they can be a professional pool player. And it's like what you said, a lot of people look at pool because it's drinking, smoking. in pubs. No. This is a professional sport. Anyone who tunes into the European Open this week can see this is a professional sport. And I hope that the juniors who all signed up this year and played in this event, they look at it and go, I want to make a Mosconi Cup. That is my dream, to make a Mosconi and to be an MVP and to be in that event 5 years in a row. I want to be a professional pool player, and we want their parents to say, yes, great idea, we support you because it's a professional sport.
Yeah. Same values we try to impose on our students. My friends have an academy, and 2 of our students were here. We had 4 of them in our room having like a podcast thing.
Yeah.
And they were basically more nervous about the podcast than being on camera.
No.
than because as you said, they are fearless at the table.
Yes.
When it came to the game, they were really nervous. They were shaking mostly. We saw some of them crying and missing it. And these experiences are just invaluable for them. Trying the new tables, realizing that these conditions are so different, and that playing good on your pub table is not good enough. But before this, they didn't have a chance to try out these tables. We don't have them in the region.
No.
And those kids are, we know they are the future, but we hope to see them having more chances and having that structure that you talked about. So that sounds amazing, and we really look forward to that. Just as we look forward to for us trying to cover as much as we can, and trying to visit. We wanted to come to the Mosconi in America last 2 years ago, but our visas were declined. Even though you gave us a letter of guarantee or whatever it's called. But we will try best to visit even Hanoi Open and anything in Europe. We most definitely will do. We need some time to confirm coming back for the PLP, maybe not for the full 7 days, but we hope to come back and have a chance to do something more, and to bring this to the audience in the Balkans, and try to bridge that gap that language has brought upon them, and trying to do a good job, obviously, of doing interviews after the matches, doing live things. We don't deal with that. We don't want to mess things up. But talking with players about them, about the person, not the player, we think it's important for players to be able to have fans that know them, not just see them.
Of course.
And we hope we did a good job here.
Yeah.
And we'll just get better, just as you. I don't know if you have anything else you would like to add. Do you have anything?
I think that it's been great that you guys have been here this week, and obviously it's all, these events coming to these territories is all about opportunities for everyone. So, us being here for the European Open has given you guys the opportunity to sort of live report on this event as well. So again, with the Premier League pool next week, there's another opportunity there. So look, it's all about just growing the World Nine-Ball Tour and growing, obviously, the money side of things for the players. So we're on a mission, and we're just going to keep on grinding, really.
Yeah, we are all on the same mission, trying to help everybody. That sounds amazing. Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you.
Thank you. I hope I didn't mess things up.
No, you were fabulous.